On the news tonight, Senate commends Federal Road Safety Corps for maintaining professionalism in discharge of duties. Civil society advocates for asset recovery to support economic transformation drive. Plus, Kaduna State House of Assembly passes bill granting pensioners access to 25% accrued pension funds. Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Praise Nwachuku. Federal Road Safety Corps management and personnel got a thumbs up for the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs for maintaining professionalism in the discharge of their duties. Well, this was during the oversight visit by the committee to assess the one-year performance of the Corps in relation to budget implementation. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
You've done very, very well, and I know that you still are prepared to do more. Like I told you, I've had cause to call, and instantly I saw action. It shows the way the agency is structured, and it is one of the best we have around here.
Intensified efforts at minimizing and reducing road crashes across the 223 unit commands of the FRSC was what elicited these acknowledgements from the legislators. Turning to the financial performance, the committee frowned at the delay in budget release for capital projects to the Corps, asking that it should be innovative as its revenue from January to October 2024 stands at 1.6 billion naira.
With regard to the capital performance, though that one is not your own fault, the president will bring the budget likely within this month or early next month. And in all ministries, departments and agencies, budget performance stands at 30%, some of them at less than 30%.
It would be good for you to even tell us how many cars are registered with you.
There should be a kind of a tracking system. It might be costly, but it's very key. They say life doesn't have spare.
The co-marshal said despite meager resources, the agency would continually strive to attain the global target of reducing road crashes by 50%.
The area where we need to also work on is to build our organizational culture, train them in such a way that they will have a culture of what FRC expected them to be. But with the paucity of funds, we are not able to do that because most of the staff, even after 15-20 years, some just receive the basic training that they when they were recruited. Outside that, they don't receive any training.
While responding to questions, he explained that the request for its personnel to bear arms was in respect of the armed squad it is seeking to establish for security purposes.
The Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, is advocating reforms in asset recovery to support economic transformation drive in the country. Well, this was at the official launch of a research report on asset recovery on a common African position in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Nigeria has recorded more than $5 billion in the last 25 years as asset recovery since the return to democracy in 1999. Experts say more needs to be done as the country is experiencing huge asset deficit abroad. While presenting the research findings, Executive Director CISLAC calls for more monitoring and accountability in managing the stolen assets to be returned to the country.
From the findings of this work that we have done, Nigeria has significantly contributed to asset recovery challenges in Africa and West Africa sub-region. The country has established alliances with other nations to guarantee a unified African effort to retrieve and repatriate assets to continent.
Other recommendations put forward include detection, recovery, management and cooperation and partnerships from foreign countries, as well as legislative support. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Kaduna State House of Assembly has approved a third supplementary budget totaling over 200 billion naira. This comes after the House Committee on Appropriation and Implementation presented their reports at the floor of the House. Adamu Sunday reports that the budget is split with 30% allocated to recurrent expenditure and 70% dedicated to capital expenditure.
The lawmakers wasted no time in approving over 200 billion naira supplementary budget. Presented by the chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation and Implementation, Shehu Yunusa Pambegwa, with the budget allocation of over 400 billion naira for recurrent expenditure and a portion dedicated to the newly implemented minimum wage, which takes effect this month, while over 166 billion naira is allocated to capital expenditure to address a shortfall in funding ongoing projects in the state.
We are moving towards the end of the year and we are expecting a budget, and at least we are running out of funds to move to finish some of the projects that we have started. So that was why we found out that there is need for this third supplementary budget, because there are additional source of funds that came into the state which were not captured in the previous supplementary and the budget. So that was the reason why we embarked on this third supplementary budget for the whole of the state.
In other legislative developments, 2 bills were read for the second time and sent to the relevant committees for further scrutiny. They are a bill for a law to establish the College of Agricultural Technology Samorukataf 2024, seeks to create a new institution to bolster agricultural education and research in the state, while a bill for a law to make provision for women representation in public and private offices in Kaduna State and for other related purposes aims to promote gender equality in leadership positions across various sectors. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
The Kano State's proposed budget for the 2025 fiscal year is higher than that of 2024, with over 100 billion naira due to increase in federation allocation and internally generated revenue, hence envisaging execution of more human capital and infrastructural development projects in the incoming fiscal year. This formed part of the second reading at the Kano State Appropriation Bill 2025 during Tuesday's plenary. Samira Hamisu Shira reports.
With an opening balance of 24 billion naira, the 2025 proposed budget intends to prioritize capital spending over recurrence. Major sources of funding the budget will be the federation allocation amounting to over 373 billion naira, while internally generated revenue stands at over 75 billion naira. The remaining will come from other receipts. Education got the highest share of 31%, which is higher than the UNESCO declaration of allocating at least 28% to education sector, while health sector also got 16%, which also supersedes the Abuja Declaration of Health and Nutrition. The bill has been forwarded to the Committee on Appropriation to submit their recommendations in 4 weeks, during which House standing committees will hold bilateral discussions with all the ministries, departments and agencies across the state.
The combination of these 5 sectors consumes 82.9% of the total budget size to service education, healthcare, infrastructural development, water and rural development, as well as the execution and the implementation of government policies and programs.
Pay your attentions on budget performance because it's very, very important. And the internal revenue generated, as my colleague said now.
Let us look at their performances, because sometimes it is you as a leader or the head of the parastatal that will make your parastatal to perform well.
This salary, I'm sure the state government will almost have double increase in its wage bill. So definitely this one comes with a challenge.
In another development, Representative Ali Abdullahi, manager of Wudil constituency, moved a motion for the upgrade of Darki Primary Healthcare Center to the status of a cottage hospital, which was constructed over 2 decades ago and caters for the traders that come from different parts of the country, hence the need for the upgrade, which was adopted. The House will reconvene on Wednesday, the 13th of November 2024. From the Kano State House of Assembly, Samira Hamisishira, NTA News.
Well, now to discuss the concept and context of Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, as it applies to national budget. A correspondent earlier engaged former chairman, Senate Committee on Rules and Business, Senator Ita Enang. Well, tell us what the concept of medium-term expenditure framework is all about.
The provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act prescribing for the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper has been honored more in breach than in observance, because it has not been observed. And even when they are bringing the MTEF for this year, they sometimes don't make reference to what it was last year. It is just planned according to the exigencies of today. And again, it is not approved in time or early to be the basis by the National Assembly, to be the basis for the executive, Mr. President, to use in budgeting, because it is the medium-term expenditure framework and the strategy paper that is supposed to enable the president, when the National Assembly approves it, is a precursor to the budget, is a foundation to the budget. It is the constitution, quote unquote, on which the budget stands, and because it is what it shows, what you are likely to have, and so it enables you to know what you are going to assign to works, agriculture, education, foreign affairs, and other sectoral allocations, by the time you have that. And if you need to change it at the time of preparing your budget, if you have some windfall, it is not realistic, then you consult with the National Assembly so that when they are concluding the budget, they will add it.
So how well can Nigerians understand the role of MTEF in promoting effective resources allocation, fiscal discipline, and strategic planning?
It's like the independent revenue. How much am I likely to have from the non-oil sector? How much am I likely, or what am I going to spend? It also enables you to project that from the government-owned corporations, this is what I am going to have from them. This is what I'm going to have from NNPC. This is what I'm going to have from Inland Revenue, Communications Commission, the MASA, Port Authority, Shippers Council, the other agencies. And if I have that, this is what I'm likely to have as statutory transfer to NDDC. This is what I'm likely to have as statutory transfer to Universal Basic Education, to the Human Rights Commission. This is what I'm going to have to other agencies. And again, from what I am going to have from them, this is what I'm going to spend. Again, it also it also enjoins you to look at what the agencies are going to spend, and then what is going to be the operating surplus, which they must now put in the Federation account or Consolidated Revenue Fund. So this is what the concept is about. It's about fiscal planning. It's about discipline. It's about projection in advance. It is about management of the economy in advance. It is how to check inflation. It's how to project so that you are not taken by surprise in any no economic situation takes you by surprise.
Well, thank you so much, Senator Ita Enang, for that enlightening segment. We now pause for a break here. The news returns shortly.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
This is NTA Parliamentary News. You're welcome back. Meanwhile, Lagos State lawmakers have reiterated satisfaction with the leadership style of the Speaker, Modashiru Obasa, thereby passing a vote of confidence on him. This followed the motion moved by the majority leader at the plenary presided over by the Deputy Speaker, Mujishola Miranda in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
Majority Leader Noim Adams, who moved the motion, said His decision was informed by the style of leadership by the Speaker, which ensures that every opinion and suggestion of members of the Assembly is given consideration before a decision is taken.
There is no decision that Mr. Speaker has taken in this State Assembly. First and foremost, what he will do is to call for parliamentary, and he will seek the consent of all members of this House of Assembly before any decision will be taken.
Some lawmakers who supported the motion say Speaker Obasa has remained a pillar of support for them even outside the legislative sessions.
The Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, we have absolute confidence in his leadership and his style and his political acumen and sagacity. However, there is no other way to do it than to obviously pass a vote of confidence on his person.
Others say the Speaker's wealth of experience in legislative activities has improved their knowledge and understanding of their responsibilities as state lawmakers.
When it comes to politics, we play politics. But when it comes to issue of legislative acumen, I want to celebrate him for doing it right. And I want to pray that may God fortify him, give him long life in good health for him to enjoy the fruit of his labor.
A leader, a man that places his follower at par. Today, I join my fellow colleagues and on behalf of my constituency, Badari Constituency 1, to congratulate Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The lawmakers thereafter showcased a brief documentary on significant contributions by the Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, to the upliftment of the Lagos State House of Assembly. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Borno State House of Assembly received reappointed Commissioner, Federal Complaints Commission, Yusuf Adamu, who is seeking collaboration of the state legislature in meeting the commission's set objectives. And he was received at the State House of Assembly complex. Kaigama Mustafa reports.
The Federal Complaint Commission was established in 1976 and saddled with the responsibility of investigating and settling administrative injustice in the country. Speaker, Borno State House of Assembly Abdul Karim Lawan, who was represented by his deputy Abdullahi Musa Askira, while congratulating the Commissioner, Federal Complaint Commission Yusuf Adamu, on his reappointment, attributed it to his dedication to duty and honesty, urging him to continue with his good work.
We will advise the government that those that are on the water bank side should be allocated to a certain layout with their own infrastructure. Some have been duplicated by the traditional village head and the district head around that their areas, selling them all that illegal land. Because if you go to the document now, many of them don't even have record that the government is aware of those plans.
The Deputy Speaker assured the Commission of Legislature's support in discharging their responsibility and urged them to establish their branch offices in all the local government areas. Commissioner, Federal Complaint Commission Yusuf Adamu urged the House to put a legislation in place to prevent building on waterways.
Tell him that we are around and we are going to collaborate by the order given to us by our Chief Federal Commissioner that the moment we are in office we should come and have a working synergy with the Borno State House.
Adamu said the Commission has established its branch offices in 3 local government areas of Biu, Gwaza and Monguno, and also working to establish in MMC, Jere and Mafa. There was a symbolic presentation of tags to principal officers. In Maiduguri, Kaigama Mustafa, NTA News.
Conducive atmosphere is pivotal for teaching and learning and contributes to the psychological well-being of students, while its absence masks the overall objective of the learning experience. And this is the case at Government Girls Secondary School, Mike Kwatashi Government Commercial Secondary School, and Zawai Primary School, all in Kano Metropolis, where they are faced with dilapidated buildings and security threats, as reported by the Kano State House of Assembly Ad Hoc Committee when they visited the school on an assessment tour. Samira Hamisu Shira reports on the recommendations of the committee and other engagements at the hallowed chamber.
Instituted on 15 October 2024, the ad hoc committee is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring all the recommendations of the Committee on Education over the dilapidated state of Mekwatashi Secondary School and other affected schools are implemented. After a detailed investigation and comprehensive discussions, the committee observed that there are cases of recurrent threats from criminals, with hotels and lodges situated near the schools. Similarly, some students of Zawai primary and secondary schools have to relocate to a nearby school. Earlier, the Ministry for Local Government has sent a request for screening and confirmation of 44 administrative secretaries, which have been scheduled for Thursday, 14th November 2024 by the 6 ad hoc committees. The House will reconvene on Friday, 15th November 2024. From the Kano State House of Assembly, Samira Hamisishara, NTA News.
The Kaduna State House of Assembly has taken a step to alleviate the financial hardship faced by retirees. The Assembly has passed a new bill granting pensioners access to 25% of their accrued pension funds. Adamu Sunday reports that this aims at providing financial relief to retirees who often struggle to adjust to their new financial realities after leaving service.
Recognizing the challenges faced by many after retirement, the Kaduna State House of Assembly has passed a law allowing retired civil servants to access 25% of their pension contributions from their respective pension managers towards improving their lives.
Hereby passed into law.
This legislation aims to alleviate the financial burden often faced by retirees and ensure a smoother transition into their post-service years.
We have made it easy for them that at least for a start, a retiree can access 25% of his entitlement, irrespective of whether or not the state government has paid its own share of the retiree's entitlement.
And when you see the kind of life they are living, it's a very pitiful kind of life, because it's not easy for someone who have worked for 35 years and 35 years and retires, and then suddenly he has no money to feed himself. He has no money to feed his family. He has no money to even buy drugs for, because of age.
Some of us cannot pay the school fees of their children. Some of us cannot even feed 3 times a day. In fact, some of us are even now lying down at home, no money to buy medicine. But with this development, we are happy, we are grateful that we can get something out of what we contributed.
In a separate development, the Assembly has also read for the second time a bill for a third supplementary appropriation of funds for the Kaduna State Government in the year 2024. The bill, which seeks to allocate over 200 billion naira, has been referred to the Committee on Appropriation and Implementation for detailed review and scrutiny. This move demonstrates the Assembly's commitment to strengthening the state's finances and ensuring the availability of resources for crucial public services. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
The Borno State House of Assembly has received a list of 2 commissioner nominees to fill in the existing vacancies in the State Executive Council, while amendment bill for state urban planning law, amongst other bills, have scaled second reading. Correspondent Kaigama Mustafa reports.
The request for confirmation of 2 commissioner nominees was sent in by the governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, to fill in unoccupied positions in the State Executive Council. The nominees include Isa Garba Halidu and Umar Lawan Dalorima. Isa Garba Halidu was a commissioner of works during the first tenure of Governor Zulum, and as for Umar Lawan Dalorima, this is his first nomination as member of the State Executive Council. Similarly, the House read executive communication from the governor seeking amendment of State Urban Planning Vote Law, which has scaled second reading.
Of establishing the Borno State Hajj Commission, which will serve as a vital institution to facilitate and enhance the pilgrimage experience for our Muslim community. Borno State Internal Revenue Re-establishment, Harmonization and Administration Law 2020 to provide for a more effective preceptive tax status and for other related matters therewith 2024.
A bill seeking to establish Borno State Hajj Commission, Borno State Internal Revenue Service Law, as well as that of the Geographic Information Service, was read at the plenary. These bills have been referred to the House Committee on Finance, Budgets and Departments and the Governor's Office and are expected to present their reports at the next sitting. In Maiduguri, Kaigama Mustafa, NTA News.
Well, that's where we call it a wrap on today's news. And for more updates on trending reports and other programs, you can follow the platforms displayed on screen. And on behalf of the production crew, I am Praise Mwachuku. Good evening.